thing where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we not talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them Mayegun today. Somebody told me on Mayegun's Diary Political on Facebook. He said, continue crying. That's why I said, continue crying. And I replied him, I said, time to cry never start, bro. Now everybody go cry, including you, the Lagos support Bakus. Some guys came in and they were like, oh, you are stupid. Look at you. You are telling him that he's going to cry. Somebody that lives in the UK. No, he's right. Everybody go feel it. Share this broadcast. Invite everyone that need to be here. Share it, like it, and even subscribe if you haven't already, right? The tribunal or the court has delivered its verdict, and a lot of people were raging. But just as I predicted, it has happened. Also, just as I predicted, there's nothing that's going to happen after the judgment. Everybody is going to go wait and start thinking, what should we do? What should we do? Until nothing is done. But the time of implosion of Nigeria is not going to come from the court. A lot of you who have expended your time for the past 1 year, hoping, moving, mobilizing, campaigning, educating people to go and get PVC, because PVC is their greatest weapon. This is the end of the PVC. If you are going to agree with me, now, maybe all of us will start kind of listening to ourselves now after this whole thing. You can still share the broadcast, by the way. I'm not trying to mock you, but there's nothing you're going to do. There's not going to be any protest. There's not going to be any revolution. There's not going to be any reaction after the court judgment. Everyone is going to stay there confused. And this is going to pass. Motideo. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun and this is live. Today, the legitimacy that Kalu couldn't get through the poll, the Nigeria judiciary have given him that legitimacy today, maybe not in your very eyes, for the past 1 year, a lot of people were wondering, would the Nigeria legal system allow somebody who perjured himself, submitted fake certificates here and there, would they allow that to just pass? I told you they would, and they have just done that. That Kalu forfeited $460,000 for narcotic trafficking in the US has been laid to bed. The issue of you committing a crime and then running for office in Nigeria, that could be of concern to some of you criminals or criminally minded individuals. That would no longer be a problem. At least, not for now. Also, the fact that Peter Obi and his team, they were carrying boxes and boxes upon boxes of evidence, they called it. We saw them labeled, listed, and the rest of them. But according to the courts, Peter Obi presented no evidence at all to challenge this whole thing. 18,000 polling unit results that got blood that couldn't be read at all. According to the court, Peter Obi didn't tell them which polling booth or what polling unit or what that. No evidence. Also, before they even delve into the detail of what they were reading, technically, they said Peter Obi and Labour Party, all of the witnesses that they presented, out of 13 witnesses, 10 of them, they did not submit their names as part of the petition. It was later they added it. Also, the court said Peter Obi's petition is frivolous, empty, and mostly time-wasting because Peter Obi gave no reason to what? To declare him, a winner or even answer any of his prayer. Same thing happened to Atiku. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the Nigeria court, again, you see that APM petition, they are also bordered on Tinubu's qualification and disqualification, right? Got dismissed, okay? The issue of 25% in Abuja is not special. Forget about what is written in that constitution. Abuja is just like every other state, even though when the people of Abuja FCT took Nigeria to court, that they wanted to be electing their own governor. They don't want somebody appointing minister for them so that, they should be treated just like every other state. The case was thrown out. It was like, no, it lacked substance. But in this tribunal trial, Abuja is not special. Okay? Abuja is like every other state. Therefore, you don't need any 25% in Abuja to be president of Nigeria, by the way. So, on the issue of drug trafficking and forfeiture of money, the tribunal said, since Tinubu is not barred or banned from entering the United States, and the United States Embassy in Nigeria also gave them a letter which was presented by Iron Ikpekun that Tinubu had no case to answer in America. Okay? Even though now the same tribunal issued subpoena that all those witnesses presented should be presented, right? Now the tribunal now kind of feel like, no, we shouldn't have given you the subpoena. So the 10 of your witnesses and all of the evidences, everything that comes with them, we're not taking them. 18,000 blood polling unit results that was presented. Remember when they were presenting that, INEC said, objection, my lord, don't accept that evidence. Even though it was INEC that gave them as evidence, right? They objected. Now, in the ruling of the tribunal agreed with INEC okay, that the blood result is the fault of the petitioner. They should have figured it out, not that bring an empty result to them to figure out for them. So therefore, it is their fault, and they are going to side with INEC. They won't have to take that in admissibility or whatever, right? It's like they go too far, It's called the summary. Now, let's take them one after the other. This morning, when everybody was kind of preparing, what was today going to be like? Somebody like me, and many others like myself on this platform, we've already said it, except if you are not reading the room, okay? From time immemorial, I have told you this before, and I'm saying it again now, for those who can remember very well, okay? The first error, the first mistake was that to allow Tinubu to scale through and contest in that election. That moment should have been the moment that a lot of you should have seen what is before you. Somebody will know the power and has the capacity to rig election by institutions. Now he's there. They sworn him in. Even if you are just this, in Nigeria, the way they structure Nigeria presidential system, even if you are this Dumbo, Dodoyo, somebody will know left from right, the day they declare you president of Nigeria, it's no longer about you anymore. Even if you are like lifeless on a bed, even if you can't talk anymore, you see every day that they call you that president, in Nigeria, a dead man, president of Nigeria, is more powerful than the living, active, young president of America in Nigeria. I repeat them. A dead leaf, Dumbo, we don't know anything. If they declare him as your president of Nigeria, it's no longer about him. It is about that place, the interest, and they are called establishment. You remove him, you are removing the life career of the criminals who are the owners of Nigeria. I have told you that before, okay? And they didn't surprise anybody except for those who kind of are hoping the fear of God or whatever other thing that you believe in and all that, right? It doesn't work that way. You see, the moment he gained that power, he is in charge. He could put his signature on anything. It is like, Baba, that beer. And I told you this before. I said, waiting you don't enter right now inside the Tinubu hand, now only death can remove him there from that place. If he desire to do 8 years, he will do 8 years. If he choose to do 16, they go try him. By the time he is done with you, towards the end of 8 years, a lot of you won't have strength to fight back for him going for 16. Now, why did I say that? I know I am kind of a little bit young, but I'm not too young. I have been around for a while, okay? And you know one thing, life, they say, is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn. When you know a corrupt system, a stinkingly corrupt system, I'm talking about like that of Nigeria, you must have this special strength in you that will tell you that Nigeria is redeemable. Election can save Nigeria. Coup can save Nigeria. Break up Nigeria and save lives. But again, for those who felt like, oh, that was extreme, we can always fight them. We'll take back our country. It is not your country. Nigeria is not your country. That's one big lie that a lot of us are living until the day you realize that Nigeria is not your country. You either follow or fall out. You don't understand. The system is programmed to work against you. Even you that is supporting them. You that is supporting them, like jumping up and down, laughing at people right now. No. You are not spared. Do you understand? Nigeria is not for you. It's not for me. It's not for any of us. It is for the rogues who have succeeded in capturing her and the institutions that could possibly checkmate them. Nigeria is not for you. When we get our PVC, we take back our country. Which country? That same Nigeria. You're not going to take that back with PVC. They didn't take Nigeria back. They didn't take Nigeria from you with PVC. You know that? They took Nigeria from you violently. Even when they pretended that, when they pretended that you have a new nation that you should nurture, you should grow, then snapped away from you. Since then, we have been living a mirage. You understand that? A mirage, okay? Where people live for the day. And in this instance, a lot of you will finally kind of come to that time soon. Why did people like us feel like Nigeria cannot be redeemed? Not through elections. I've said that many times, okay? When they tell you that, I remember when they told some of these young people then in 2020, they told you that you should take your anger, you should take it to the poll, go and register to vote. And if you don't like them, you can change them. You know what they meant by that? They will tell you to go through the right channel. And when you look at people telling you to go through the right channel to change Nigeria, you will realize that they are the people who control that channel that they called right. They set the rule. Once you participate in it, you are trapped in it. You are therefore, by all means, you are therefore under the control of that their set law. That was the first trap. But like I said, life is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn. A lot of you today, have already burnt your PVC. You are not even interested in using them anymore. You are about to japa, leave Nigeria. And so many other things you want to do, right? Others will tell you now what? Go and get ready for 2027. We'll get to that part. Because we have to break it down now. You know what I mean? So this morning, everybody woke up. Whatever go up, make it happen. They won't kill us. Make them kill us. They go there today. Judiciary, all eyes on judiciary. I speak from the streets just before everybody enter court, Abi. Mo, they take them one after the other now. Early moment this morning, as all eyes on judiciary was trending, people have a lot of questions. Okay, so what's going to happen to 25% Abuja in the law? What is going to happen to the perjury, forged certificates? What's going to happen to that? What's going to happen to double nomination of shitty man? What's going to happen to the non-compliant with the 2022 Electoral Act? A lot of questions, and all that questions got answered today. It just depends on how you think, or what you expected them to say, and what you heard them said today. Abi, on the street early moment this morning, it all started with the police doing their normal gra. I think they called it a show of force, just to show people that if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. Even Asari people quickly arrived too in the morning.
The boys of Asari Dokubo have come around here. This is definitely Asari Dokubo's boys.
Everybody was arriving gradually today, not today, because those who believe that the judiciary may want to shock them, Asari and the APC guys, they mobilized. The obedient themselves, as usual, they mobilized. Okay? And then the Atiku guys and all of them too. Everybody. Appeal court. Yeah, I think this is also part of that.
Will you die for Nigeria? People when they suffer,
KK drivers, yesterday they match all that KK. They match all their machine. They bought clothes, what is for the sell. Destroy everything with fire. How will they cope up? At the end of the day, they will give the road. They will give the right people. Now they will say they're criminals. Because what they're doing, they are taking the opportunity away from them. How can we continue in this way? They will come and destroy where you are living. Yesterday, nobody should come and live. How can we continue in this way? We want the country where we want the country where maybe to come and destroy our things. Whether people cannot stay on the road, they get destroyed. They will come and carry you. Destroy what you are.
When they were reading the judgment today, I was kind of following the reactions of a lot of Nigerians. And many of them quite agreed that the Nigerian 1999 constitution has been buried by the judiciary today. And I'm like, is that you just realizing? Have you actually not been hearing things or seeing things about this fraudulent 1999 constitution? Do you not think it's one day going to be a problem like this? No? That's how messed up Nigeria is. It's going to be a long night. I hope you have the time, by the way. Let's go back to the the people's reaction this morning.
In this country, we want judiciary to do nothing but justice. Give us judgment regarding the election of 2023. We need nothing but justice. Our will, our exercise must not be truncated by anybody. We want judiciary to stand tall and declare judgment concerning presidential election. We are working on them. We are looking on them. Our eyes and heart and mind is set on them. That they should not destroy the future of this country. Because all Nigerians' eyes are on the judiciary. My young men, your future is at stake. Should judiciary do any mistake and declare wrong judgment, the election is finished and the hope is lost. But if judiciary stand tall and declare right judgment, every mouth shall be stopped. Nigeria will march forward and get closer to a very high. Thank you. Keep on the struggle. We are with you. I am Mr. Edwin Christian. Mr. Edwin Christian. Baba, you spoke with so much passion. Do you know if I ask you how you are? I am 66 years. And you are putting your eye at the age of 66 on the judiciary. Yes, yes. Because we can no longer continue on a stolen mandate. Nigeria cannot survive on a stolen mandate. Nigeria can only survive when there is true democratic government. The man elected by the people to take up the mantle and deliver the nation from all the mess we have suffered in the hands of criminal leaders. We shall no longer continue in criminal leadership and governance of this country. We should be tired of it. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Thank you for supporting.
Somebody said, tell Peter Obi to go back to his Agulu. He will never rule Nigeria. That's great, Baba. But do you know that Peter Obi is a member of the elite too? Which means whatever they turn Nigeria to, it stands to benefit. Why the rest of, just like the rest of those you probably think will be punished for, like, you know what I mean? He is a member of the elite himself. He is a capitalist himself. He has businesses that actually run in there and will actually, will benefit from the chronic capitalism that you have in Nigeria. He's probably never going to, well, anyway, you all know that, so I don't have to repeat that. But the point here is this. What about you? What about your children? What about their future? 8 years under APC, Egbekegbe. How did that go with you? Another 8 of that 24 years of democracy, celebrating criminals. I'm just, you know what I mean? Because a lot of us are not really going to be directly affected. But as long as this contraption is still kind of all together, are you sure that this same APC actually have a plan that can secure the future of your own children with what you know? Or is it just inshallah? Vibes and inshallah. Could you everybody bow down? Everybody they cry. Like Mayeguna, Mayegu go cry. Now so I cry for 8 years. You know that? And the reason for my cry, for my tears, is that I was watching all of you, young people. I was watching your lives being frittered away. I was watching how you are being turned to, being emaciated, what do you call it? Denied opportunities. And you are now in your millions. I have seen young people who have now grown into adults. And look at you. That's the source of my tears. Oh. Unfortunately, I may have to actually steal tears for your children too. Because so many of you have children now inside that same Nigeria. Are you sure that this tear that you are talking about is kind of, it's going to kind of pass you? Abi? That's fine. 8 years ago, those who had jobs in Nigeria, they were shouting change. And I remember they were even more popular than now. You remember that change time now? It's like disobedient too. Sure you get. If disobedient belonged to the part of the establishment, do you understand? They would have trounced the APC. They would have used the young people, all of your energy, all of your innocence, all of your expectation, like they did in 2015. But unfortunately, you didn't give it to either of the establishment this time. You gave it to a no structure, as they say, no structure party. And that is why it's a bit different from 2015. In 2015, I was looking at these criminals. I was looking at all the lineup. I was looking at their own antecedent and what they have done. And I was screaming, they are scammers, they are liars. A lot of you actually hated me back then. Shut up your mouth. Give them time. Buhari is this. Buhari is a very kineko. It didn't take long before a lot of you were shouting Sai Baba, started screaming Kai Baba, Abi. So here I am today. I cried for you for 8 years. And the way it is right now, you would have to actually tear enough. This time, I don't know if you're going to actually be able to survive it. But again, let's go back to those who are building expectation on the corrupted judiciary in Nigeria. It's quite kind of, funny. Privately, right? When I'm talking to my friends, I kind of feel funny. It feels funny when people start speaking big English and they are talking about their confidence in Nigeria institution and Nigeria system. The same one. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? Just like this. They were hopeful. And I don't know where that came from. I keep asking here.
Our vote must count. I'm not here alone. I am here with some comrades that will be speaking to you very briefly. I'm here with Honorable Lucky. He is Obian. And I am here with Honorable Lucky. He is Obian, the Labour Party aspirant for the Edo State governorship. And we are here because we are putting forward to the Nigerian people to know that youths can take power. We have seen the shenanigans and the criminality of our elections. And as obedient, we have presented him forward to Edo State people to vote him as governor. Hear him speak, and we have another person that is already bombing from his mind to speak to you about the wickedness of this government. And every youth in this government that is supporting wickedness, you and your generation, we know that suffering is part of you. But for us, we have decided to say no to Ahmed Bola Tinubu and the APC. Honorable, please take over. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we are here. I'm Honorable Lucky. Here.
Quiet now. Quiet.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all know why we are here today.
Sir, introduce yourself.
I just did that. I'm Honorable Lucky Obia of the Labour Party.
The candidate.
The governorship aspirant for the Edo 2024 general election.
Woo!
We have been at the vanguard,
yes, sir,
of promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance. We have been on the streets of Abuja to reawaken the consciousness of the Nigerian people. Nigerians know who they voted for. And it's as a result of that, today, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will be passing judgment. And the court sitting is ongoing. It is important to inform Nigerians, as we speak currently, an amorphous wing of the All Progressive Congress in the capacity of a Niger Delta ex-militant has been given access close to the courts, while other political party supporters have been denied access close to the courts. It is also important for Nigerians to know that as judgment is ongoing currently, the Nigerian government, under the illegitimate rule of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, they have connived with what we call NEPA to shut down the entire power of Abuja and Nasarawa State.
Yes.
To make sure Nigerians don't have access to the live proceedings going on. This will not be allowed.
Yes.
This is gagging the communication freedom, the freedom of speech, the freedom of assemblage in the Nigerian society. This is not allowed. This is an aberration. Today, we are reminding the judiciary that any amount or any attempt or attempted attempt to subvert the will of the people will be met with strong resistance.
Yes.
It will be met with strong resistance.
Yes.
Rigging is a coup d'etat against the constitution of any clime in any society. This is a constitutional misnomer. As you all know, the spate of coup happening across Africa is as a result of bad leadership. Sit-tight leaders who perpetuate themselves in governance, who create ruling dynasty in governance. Nigeria is not far-fetched. Nigeria is not far-fetched. We are not members of G20. We are not members of G7. We are not members of BRICS. What is the business of the illegitimate government of...
All right, Honorable, because, you know, a lot of them believe that the people they are dealing with actually care about how good you can talk or vibrate or do all this, whatever you can. They don't care about that. They've seen enough of all of that. It was like it was there saying we want the judiciary if they try anything today, blah, blah. That was in the morning, you know. I'm not trying to mock Honorable. I'm just like letting them know that, like somebody said on this program last night, it is more than just talking, Abi. Because just like he alleged, here is Asari Doku pig there too earlier. So if you see Asawana, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. And they were very close to the to the courts of appeal, where they were reading the judgment. So he was right. The Honorable was right.
And anybody who wants to seek any other means other than the constitutionally prescribed means, we will meet him. If you do anyhow, you do anyhow. We are telling you, this is not Ahmed Bola Tinubu speaking. It is Alhaji Mujahi. Because your cheap blackmail will not work. Don't bring them a Bola Tinubu to this matter. Alhaji Mujahi of Pasare has been talking. I don't need anybody. I am not a robot. Or that one when you are small, that thing they do in school. I am Momoge. I am my own man. I have told you. Hear me very well. You do anyhow. Anybody who is sponsoring you, any COVID where you are hiding, any principalities and powers, wicked people in high places. If you are with them, you are in consult with them, and you think you will take the mandate of the people, you cannot take it. At all. The men that are here will watch us very well. We are battle tested.
They were battle ready, battle tested. If you do anyhow, you see anyhow. These are those who are actually making another threat in the open. But that's just outside. So inside, when everybody started taking their own seats, I think from the entrance, let's start with when Tinubu crew arrived. You see, when they arrived, the kind of, I'm trying to describe it, right? The kind of confidence at which they walked in, it was with some level of, added intimidation. Others said they wanted to be there so that the judges, when they are reading, waiting, then give them, they will be making sure that the job is well done. Okay, let's see. And all that. Why Kolu was in India, by the way. So yeah, I'll show you. Kolu was in India today.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. How are you, sir? Welcome to India.
Thank you.
So happy to have you with us.
Good to be with you.
You are the first president of Nigeria from Africa for the G20 meeting you are here. And we are so happy that this will bring a lot of good luck to Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
And to tell you.
Hello, sir.
So Kolu met a billionaire in India, but back in the courtroom, it's like a squad led by Ribadu, or should I say, Shitty Man. Let's start with that.
Stay back, sorry. Well done. This is my own. Was it
Hello. You know this how you are saying. You know, he has grown up. He is supposed to be when you are boy you are saying. I brought him up. I trained him. Me and which is his friend IBP, and then M2 Abiola, and then Atiku, my friend. Now I have grown. You see why you have grown? I like that. Well, how are you? Yadi? Yeah, Mama.
So, Peter Obi, Atiku, and Tinubu, the trio didn't go to court. They didn't appear. Now, let me give you the summary of what happened, especially in that court today. It's a long read for hours, and I think they are still reading it, by the way, that of Atiku. However, when they started the case, they started with APM or something. That is another political party that is filing their petition on disqualification of Tinubu. That based on his forged school certificate, as well as double nomination for Shetima. So they wanted Tinubu to be disqualified. Number one, on the double nomination of Shetima. And they cited the case between Leon and Diri of Bayelsa, where the deputy to Leon, David Leon, right, was caught submitting a forged school certificate. And therefore, the main candidate, Leon, who just won an election, got disqualified even by the Supreme Court. So citing that, when the tribunal will respond, one, the tribunal started explaining to the petitioner that most of what they are asking the tribunal to do for them is pre-election. Do you understand? Which means the nomination of Shetima as running mate to Tinubu, right, was done by the political party APC. And it is the business of APC on who they choose and when they submit them as well, kind of. So, the double nomination or any other thing, even though in his own in his own belief, that's the tribunal judge, he said in his own belief, it wouldn't have amount to disqualification because it is none of the business of another political party, of how a political party nominates their candidates or the running mates. So in a nutshell, right, according to them, it is the political party that nominates candidates for election. How that candidate, whether that candidate has been nominated for a position before, and they withdraw that and they have to put him on another nomination, they do both at the same time, that is the business of the political party. It is none of your business as opposition. Okay? Meanwhile, when you go to tribunal, when you go to court to try to challenge that, the court will tell you it is the business of the party. Okay? So where do you take it to? You take it to the tribunal, When you take it to the tribunal will tell you it is a pre-election matter. All of that qualification, he had criminal past, he had this or that, all those things are pre-election. You should have fought them in court. Not us. To help you, use something that you should have used to stop the candidate. To now bring that in after election. Do you get that? Do you get the magomago there? It's just simply mean it is impossible to prove any case, especially for the position of president, any case against any president in Nigeria, their rig election. You just can't. Because if you try to challenge them this way, they will tell you, well, you may have a case, but what happened is that it's a pre-election matter. We can't say anything about it. But before election, if you go to court, the court will tell you, it's none of your business. It's political party matter. But the law itself says, if you have this or that, you should be disqualified. They will say, well, the law said that, but it's not for you to use the law. Because it's not your political party. You are not a member of the party. That is the technical part of it. So they use that technicality to knock out the APM, the ARM, So the moment they started reading that of ARM, APM judgment, I knew it was over. Because, you know, when they were hearing the trial, they had, they kind of had all the petition at the same time, remember? And they said they were going to give their judgment at the same time, especially where their prayers are similar. Once, Atiku is in America, looking for University of Chicago certificate or something to present in court in Nigeria. Okay? So, they don't care. Their own is that by the time you bring anything out, technically they cannot knock it out, okay? But the thing here is this. If they are already saying forgery and perjury that one petitioner submitted has been thrown out, you know, say if you see perjury and forgery and all of those things in your own petition, you know, so they go cancel them. I'm coming to that. So when they finish with the APM, Allied People's Movement, they said they thrown out, they dismissed their petition because most of what they wanted to use to prosecute their case, evidence they thought they presented, all of them, they are pre-election. It is none of their business how they nominated. In fact, at a point, the judge said, even if they nominated Shetima as a senator and vice president, he believed that it's not intentional. Shebi, they say there is no ignorance in law. Today, a lot of you now realize that if APC and Tinubu wanted to do it, they shouldn't have called any witness at all. You see the judges, they did the defense of Tinubu better than his own lawyers today. If you listen to the whole thing, the judges, they defended Tinubu and Shetima more than their lawyers today. They said, okay, even if Shetima was doubly nominated, they believe that it's not intentional and it's none of your business. Okay? So in that case, we cancel your petition. It was now time for Peter Obi. When they opened that of Peter Obi, they started from what Peter Obi, listen to this, Peter Obi's argument is defense and everything. That's where they started from. Before they now got to the defense of Tinubu and Shetima. Now, they will read Peter Obi's lawyers, argument. They will now read the defense put forward by Tinubu's lawyers during those hearings. All these things you are seeing them, you heard them reading today. Those were the arguments between the two lawyers during the trial. That's what they were reading. But if you pay attention very well, when they finally read the part, they will now add their own statement, which is their own observation before judgment. And that is where, listen to this, where Peter Obi was asking the tribunal, okay, to disqualify Tinubu because of certificate forgery. The difference between Peter Obi's petition and case and that of APM is that Peter Obi got different witnesses to back different prayers. Here you get. Where they spoke about forged certificate and the rest of order, right? They back that with the real certificate and the fake one they submitted to prove that this is perjury. Okay? The original hasn't still been presented though, because they didn't really present much evidence. I mean, defense anyway, right? So the what do you call it? The courts who actually subpoena some witnesses, okay, to come and back Peter Obi's. And again, 1 second, how many of you still remember that the same tribunal gave 5 different orders to INEC? The INEC should release the election result and document to the petitioners. And INEC refused 5 times for more than 6 weeks before the whole thing finally go to trial. You remember? I don't know if you remember, right? Well, it doesn't matter. I will remind you. So, in a space of double nomination, the tribunal said, even if that's the case, Shetima probably didn't do it intentionally. Okay? When it came to the case of a forfeiture of $460,000 for narcotic, do you know what the tribunal, after all of the evidence, everything presented, the tribunal said Peter Obi did not present a single evidence, except for few ones who were like, they were pretty much like hearsay. Something like I heard. Here you get, no evidence. Despite evidence that even me, Mayegun, on Mayegun's diary Politico, some of the evidences are presented here. They are so open, so out there. Anyway, the tribunal said the forfeiture is against, they said the forfeiture is not criminal. It's not a criminal forfeiture. Narcotico is not criminal. It's about falsehood. Like maybe somebody who was supposed to, okay, hang on. Peter Obi said, here are the evidence of Tinubu as a drug lord, this, that, audio, report, everything, including those witnesses they presented. And Tinubu's lawyers said, my lord, no, that never happened. So when the tribunal want to give their own statement on that, you know what they said? They said, the petitioner, Peter Obi and his lawyers, they alleged that the reason why Tinubu forfeited $460,000 in a Chicago court in America was for narcotics. And the respondent, which is Tinubu's lawyer said, my lord, that is not true. So we believe Tinubu lawyers that Tinubu didn't commit any crime in America. In fact, if there's anything done that is kind of wrong, which is not criminal, it's been 10 years ago. So it's more than 10 years ago. So it's not an issue. It is irrelevant. That's what the tribunal said. It is irrelevant in this case. So they agreed with Tinubu's lawyers that forget everything everybody is presenting. Okay, it never happened. The forfeiture is against Tinubu's bank accounts. It's not against Tinubu himself. That's what they said. That's what you remember when they said that during the trial? That's what the tribunal agreed today. They agreed. They said, well, it's true. Tinubu didn't commit any crime because from the evidence presented by the United States of America Embassy in Nigeria, they have confirmed that Tinubu has no case in America. And there is no evidence. Obi did not present evidence that Tinubu cannot go to America or he's been banned in America. Since Tinubu is not banned in America and he can go to America, that means he didn't do anything wrong. Therefore, the issue of forfeiture, the issue of drug trafficking is irrelevant. That's the ruling. Today, you want to hear it? I have a small portion cut. I'll show you.
A careful perusal of the careful perusal of P5 relied upon by the petitioners showed that the case number 193 CV04483 was in the civil docket of the U.S. District Court, Northern District of Illinois, and it was a civil forfeiture proceeding against funds in specified accounts with First Heritage Bank and Citibank NA. Exhibit N5 is actually an action in rem against the funds with First Heritage Bank and Citibank. It is not an action in personam against the second respondent. In Jonathan versus Federal Republic of Nigeria, citation supplied, the Supreme Court held in inter alia that Section 17 of the Advance Fee Fraud and Other Related Offences Act 2006 provides for the power to make an order of forfeiture without conviction or for an offense, and that an order of forfeiture under the section shall not be based on conviction for an offense under the Act or any other law. The Apex Court further held that there was no need to prove any crime in forfeiture of property under Section 17 of the Advance Fee and Other Related Offences Act. A civil forfeiture is a unique remedy which rests on the legal fiction that the property, not the owner, is the target. Therefore, it does not require conviction or even a criminal charge against the owner, as it is not a punishment, nor is it for criminal purposes. See also the cases of Lawari Furnitures and Baths Limited versus Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alison Madueke versus ESCC. From the legal definitions and judicial authorities cited above, it is clear that the sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud envisaged in Section 137, subsection 1D of the Constitution is one imposed upon a criminal trial and conviction. In the instant case, the petitioners have failed to show evidence that the second respondent was indicted or charged or arraigned, tried and convicted, and was sentenced to any term of imprisonment or fine for any particular offense. On the part of the second and third respondents, they have contended that the second respondent was never fined for any offense and has no criminal record in the United States. In proof of their assertion, they have tendered exhibits RA8 and RA9 from the bar and called RW2 to give evidence and identify the said exhibits as documents he referred to in his adopted statement of oath of 12 April 2023. In paragraph 45 to 52 of his statement on oath, RW2 has stated that the second respondent was never convicted or fined for any criminal offense in the United States as alleged by the petitioner. In particular, RW2 stated as follows in paragraph 46, 47, and 49. 46 says, in case number 93C4483 at the United States District Court, Northern State District of Illinois, Eastern Division, which was pleaded by the petitioners. 1, no criminal charge was filed against the second respondent. 2, the second respondent was not arraigned and did not take or make a plea to any count in the charge of allegations of crime. 3, the second respondent did not go through a criminal trial. 4, the second respondent was not convicted of any crime or any criminal activity. 5, no sentence of imprisonment was imposed on the second respondent. 6, no sentence of fine was imposed on the second respondent. 7, no form of sentence was imposed on the second respondent. 8, case number 93C4483 was a civil suit in respect of which the court exercised civil jurisdiction under 18 U.S.C. 981 and 28 U.S.C. 1345 and 1355. In paragraph 47, he said, I also note that in case number 93C4483 at the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, no impersonal criminal sentence was imposed on the second respondent. 49, the second respondent was not convicted in case number 93C4483, United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois. The United States of America, through its embassy in Nigeria, had, by a letter dated February 4, 2003, addressed to the then Inspector General of Police, confirmed that upon the record checks of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, National Crime Investigation Center, NCIC, a centralized information center that maintains the record of every criminal arrest and conviction within the United States of America, there were no records of any form of criminal arrest, warrants against the second respondent. I shall rely upon a copy of the sale letter of February 4, 2023, done by Michael M. Bonner. Under cross-examination by the fourth respondent, RW2 has stated that as a practicing attorney in the United States, he knows that there cannot be a conviction unless there is an indictment. He also stated that exhibits RA8 and RA9 gave the second respondent a clean bill of health.
Did you hear that? As you know, people have already